Students, in the last video, we studied that is ended with atomic masses and molecular formulae. That is, molecular formulae was given, and I had told you to calculate the atomic masses of those compounds. So, I hope you must have done this. Some of you have sent, many of you have not sent. So, do send it as early as possible. Now, see, mole. Okay, to before proceeding with this mole, okay, yes, with this, try this. First of all, we'll come down with this and try to understand. See, when elements and compounds, okay, take part in the chemical reaction, elements and compounds, they take part in the chemical reaction. So, when elements and compounds take part in chemical reactions, it is their atoms and molecules that react with each other, and therefore it is necessary to know the number of their atoms and molecules. Now, what is going to happen? When elements and compounds, when they are going to take part in the chemical reaction, that time their atoms and molecules, they are going to interact with each other, isn't it? Yes, they are going to react with each other, interact with each other, and therefore it is necessary to know the number of their atoms and molecules. That is why we should know how many atoms and how many molecules are taking part in the reaction. Now, however, while carrying out a chemical reaction, see, however, while carrying out a chemical reaction, it is convenient to measure out quantities that can be handled instead of counting the number of atoms and molecules. So, what is going to happen? Now, see, instead of counting the number of atoms and molecules, it's not practically done. Okay, so it's not possible to handle this properly. So, to handle it properly, it is better to measure out quantities. The concept of mole is useful for this purpose. Okay, so this the concept of mole which is there, that this is useful for this purpose, so that you can measure it properly. So, see, a mole is that quantity of a substance whose mass in grams. Okay, so see, let me tell you, a mole, okay, uh, a mole is that quantity of a substance whose mass in grams is equal in magnitude to the molecular mass of that substance. So, see, now what is a mole? A mole is the quantity, okay, of a mass whose mass of substance in grams, okay, yes, whose mass of substance in grams is equal to the molecular mass of the substance in Dalton. So, thus the molecular mass of oxygen, okay, the molecular mass of oxygen is 32 Daltons, and therefore 32 grams of oxygen is 1 mole of oxygen. So, what is the molecular mass of oxygen? It is 32, isn't it? It is 32 Daltons. Now, see, so the molecular mass of oxygen is how much? 32 Daltons, and therefore, okay, the grams, 32 grams of oxygen is 1 mole of oxygen. So, 32 grams of oxygen is equal to 1 mole of oxygen. So, now you know this. I've told you one. See, 1 mole. Okay. Yes. Of a substance is equal to, okay, 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 particles. Right? Yes. So, the molecular mass of water is how much? 18 Dalton. Therefore, 18 grams of water is equal to 1 mole of water. Now see, let us go back. See, weigh single grains of tur dal, masoor dal and chana dal on a balance. What was your experience? Now you know you have seen a balance. Now you take a balance and what you do, you first that is put 1 grain, not even 1 gram of grain, 1 grain you are going to take. You take first tur dal grain, okay, and you keep it on the balance and try to weigh it. Will you be able to weigh this? No, it will not be possible for you to weigh this, isn't it? Now weigh 10 grams of tur dal, masoor dal and chana dal each and count the number of dal grains of each kind in the weighed portion. So what you are going to take? You are going to take, see, 10 grams of tur dal, okay, then masoor dal and chana dal, okay, yes, and how much you are going to take? 10 grams each you are going to take, okay, yes, then you are going to count the number of dal grains, okay, in each. See how many grains are there in 10 grams of tur dal, how many grains of masoor dal, that is masoor dal is there in 10 grams, and how many grains of chana dal are there in 10 grams of chana dal. You are going to count. Is the number the same in each portion or is it going to be different? Of course, the number of grains is going to be different, isn't it? Because the weight of each grain is going to be different. The size is also going to be different. Now see, draw a line sketch on a paper. Paint it by placing or pasting the dal grains in the sequence tur, masoor and Bengal gram. You will need equal number of dal grains of the 3 kinds. Count that number and therefore deduce the number of grams of tur dal, masoor dal and chana dal required for painting the picture. Also find out how many dozens of the respective dal grains were required. So this is an activity. You take that is you draw a line sketch, okay, you just draw a line, okay, yes, and then what you are going to do, you are going to paste, okay, 3 lines you draw. First you paste tur, then you paste masoor dal and then you paste Bengal gram, okay, and see, you will need equal number of dal grains of the 3 kinds. Count that number and therefore deduce the number of grams, okay. So you are going to count how much of that is tur, masoor and Bengal gram is needed, okay. Now see, and you are going to calculate, that is find out how many dozens also. You know 1 dozen means how much? It's equal to 12 quantity, right? Yes. What inference will you draw about the weights of an equal number of its different dal grains and the number of its dal grains in equal weights of different dals? See, yes, what inference means to what conclusion you are going to come, okay, yes, about the weight of an equal number of its different dal grains and the number of its dal grains in equal weight. Now see, when you take, okay, equal number of grains, okay, equal, you think you have taken 100 grains of tur dal, 100 grains of masoor dal and 100 grains of chana dal. Now is the weight of, when you weigh this, is the weight of all the 3 going to be same? No, the weight is going to differ, isn't it? Now you do the opposite way, okay, you take equal weights of different dals just like you did in the above case, okay, you take equal weights of equal, see, you take the equal weights of different dals, okay, yes, and measure the grains. So the grains will be, the number of grains is going to be different. Okay. Now see, think about it. How much of wheat, jowar and bajra seed is required for sowing 1 acre of land? Naturally, that is how the quantity of wheat, jowar and bajra seed is going to be different, because the size of this wheat is going to be, that is all the three, the size is different. Yes, the quantity which is going to be measured, that is the number of grains which are which will which will be there in this is going to be different. How much you require to sow 1 acre of land, the quantity required for of wheat, jowar and bajra is going to be different, isn't it? Now, is it possible to weigh one molecule using a weighing balance? Yes, if you use a weighing balance, is it possible to weigh one molecule? Of course, no. You will not be able to measure such a small amount, right? Will the number of molecules be the same in equal weights of different substances? Yes. If you take equal weights of different substances, will the number of molecules going to be same? No. If we want equal number of molecules of different substances, will it work to take equal weights those substances? Yes, if you want equal number of molecules of different substances, will it work out? Okay, if you take equal weights, see, when elements and compounds take part in chemical reaction, it is their atoms and molecules that react with each other. So what's going to happen? In the above case, the number of molecules of different substances are going to be different, right? So in elements and compounds which are taking part in chemical reaction, the molecules are going to react with each other, their atoms and their molecules. But however, it is necessary to know, that is why you have to know the number of their atoms and molecules. But it is convenient to measure the quantities instead of counting the number of atoms and molecules. Okay, see, 1 mole of a compound, okay, 1 mole of a compound is the mass of that substance in grains equal in magnitude. Okay, so to its molecular mass, so the SI unit is mole. So what is 1 mole of a compound? 1 mole of a compound is the mass of that substance, okay, is the mass of that substance in grams, okay, equal to its molecular mass. Means, see, if you want to get the answer as 1 over here, okay, this and this must be equal, right? Yes. Now see, for example, if you take oxygen, okay, yes, if you take oxygen, 32 by 32 is equal to 1, right? Now Avogadro's number, the number of molecules in 1 mole of any substance is constant. Okay, so what is this Avogadro number? The number of molecules in 1 mole. Okay, if you take any substance and if you take 1 mole of that substance, the number of molecules is going to be same. It's going to be constant. The number of molecules in 1 mole of that substance is not going to change. Now see, the Italian scientist. So who was this Avogadro? He was an Italian scientist and he did pioneering work in this constant. Therefore, this number is called Avogadro number. So he was the scientist. I will show you a clip about him. Okay. So he was the person who did a very important work in this constant in this context of mole. Okay, and that is why, see, this number we call it as Avogadro number, and see, This is how it is denoted. Later, scientists demonstrated experimentally that the value of a Avogadro number is 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. Just now I showed it to you, right? Yes, a mole of any substance stands for 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. So if you take 1 mole of any substance, how many molecules it's going to contain? 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. Just as a dozen has 12 items. I told you 1 dozen means, yes, 1 dozen if you take, it's going to be how much? 12, right? Okay, now 1 dozen is equal to how much quantity? 12, right? If you take a century, 1 century, it's going to be 100, right? Yes. So see, if you take a gross, means it is 144. If you take mole, then it's going to be 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. So for example, a mole of water, that is 18 grams of water contains, so you know now 1 mole of water, how much it's going to contain? 18 grams of water, isn't it? So see, how much of 18 grams of water it's going to contain? 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. How many molecules are there in 66 grams of carbon dioxide? So you're going to calculate, okay, how many molecules will be there in 66 grams of carbon dioxide. Now see, I will tell you. Okay, now see, mass of carbon dioxide, it's given to you as 66 grams, isn't it? Now molecular mass of carbon dioxide is how much? You know, this is 16 oxygen, okay? 16 twos are 32 plus carbon is how much? 12. So 12 plus 32 is 44. So 66 by 44. So N is equal to 1.5 moles, right? So when you simplify this, okay, you are going to get N is equal to 1.5 moles. Therefore, 1 mole of carbon dioxide contains how many molecules? 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. But here, how many moles you got? 1.5 moles. So 1.5 moles of carbon dioxide contains 1.5 into 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23, which is equal to 9.033 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. So I hope you must have understood this. If you want, see, once again let me tell you. Now here, okay, if you take, see, if you take oxygen, okay, if you take oxygen, you know, mass of substance in grams, okay, is how much? 32 grams, right? Yes, and molecular mass of oxygen is how much? Yes, 16 into 2, right? Yes, that is equal to 32. So 32 and 32 will get cancelled. You will get 1 mole, right? Now here it is carbon dioxide. Okay, it is 2 different elements, remember. Okay, so carbon dioxide means what? Yes, it is how many grams? It's given to you 66 grams, right? So molecular mass is how much? Yes, oxygen, you know, 32 plus carbon is how much? 12. So that is equal to 44. Okay, so this is 44. So 66 by 44, you got it as N is equal to how much? 1.5 moles. Therefore 1 mole of carbon dioxide contains 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. Therefore 1.5 mole carbon dioxide contains 1.5 into 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23, that is 9.033 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. Now see, 1 dozen bananas means how many bananas? 12 bananas, right? 1 dozen is 12. 144 notebooks means it's going to make 1 gross of notebook, you can see here. Then 1 mole of common salt, 1 mole of anything is equal to 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. Okay, yes. So that is Avogadro's number. Okay, yes. Okay, use your brain power. Yes. Now, with whatever I have taught you, I think I expect you to do this. How many molecules of water are there in 36 grams of water? Okay. So, 1 mole of water contains how many grams of water? Yes. You know that, right? Yes. 18 grams, right? Yes. So, 36 grams means how many moles? I think I've given you a clue, isn't it? So you should be able to do this. How many molecules of sulfuric acid are there in a 49 grams sample? Okay, so 49 divided by, yes, the atomic mass of hydrogen, 2 atoms are there. So into 2 will come, plus sulfur plus O4. So that is 16 into 4, right? Yes, so you are going to divide 49, that is 49 grams of sample is given. You are going to do like this. See, you are going to do like this. Okay. So 49 divided by the molecular mass of sulfuric acid. Now always remember the number of molecules in a given quantity of a substance. Now see, before proceeding with this, you might be thinking, okay, from where are you going to get this atomic mass of this substances, okay, of this compound? You are going to get it in the periodic classification of elements. Okay, in the modern periodic table, the atomic mass is given to you. Just see that and do. So I've told you almost, so I think only a little part of the work you have to do. Now always remember, the number of molecules in a given quantity of a substance is determined by its molecular mass. So you should always remember this, that the number of molecules, okay, how many molecules are there in given a quantity of a substance, that is going to be determined by the molecular mass. Then the number of molecules in equal masses of different substances is going to be different, right? This we have seen in the above examples, that if you take equal masses of different substances, okay, if you are going to take equal masses of different substances, the number of molecules are going to be different. 1 mole quantity of different substances have different masses measured in grams, correct? Yes, that also you saw. If you take for example 100 tur dal, 100 this one masoor dal, yes, and weigh it, what is going to happen? The weight, the masses which you are going to measure is going to be different, isn't it? Yes, so this is what is meant over here. 1 mole quantity of different substance have different masses measured in grams. Okay, yes.
go to a supermarket, we always buy things using standard values. In other words, we always take 1 kilogram of rice or 200 milliliters of fruit juice. Fruits are sometimes counted using the unit dozen. 1 dozen means 12 of something. These are terms used in everyday life. But what if I want to measure something in terms of the number of tiny particles present in it? Let me explain this in detail. Looking at this pure gold, can you tell me how many gold atoms are present in this? Or wait, looking at this glass of water, can you tell me how many water molecules are present in it? You will probably say that it's practically impossible to calculate the number of atoms or molecules in these examples. But astonishingly, chemistry has an answer to this as well. That brings us to the concept of mole. What does it mean? It's very easy. 1 mole of anything has 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms or molecules or particles present inside it. Isn't this number huge? If I have to write down the zeros, this is how big the number will look. 1 mole of anything has these many particles. Now let's say we take a substance which has 3 times the number of particles here. Then we say that this is 3 moles of this substance. And what if we have a substance which has 8 times the number of particles here? That's correct. It will be 8 moles of that substance. That's the basic concept of a mole of any substance. Let's see if you've understood the concept well. Now here's 1 mole of this pure gold. How many atoms does it have? Yes, as it's 1 mole, it will have 6.02 times 10 raised to 23 atoms in it. Similarly, 1 mole of pure water will have 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 water molecules inside it. So is this how we define 1 mole? 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms or molecules or particles? Well, that's the simplest way to understand it. That means if we take, for example, a bag containing 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 hydrogen atoms, then can we say it's 1 mole of hydrogen? Yes, that's right. Similarly, 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 molecules of any compound like copper sulfate is 1 mole of copper sulfate. Simple, isn't it? Wait, we have just understood the concept of mole in simple words. But we are yet to take a look at the scientific definition of 1 mole. And what's this number we refer to? Does it have a special name? Watch our next video to know more. In the previous part of the video, we saw that 1 mole of something is nothing but 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 particles. It could be atoms or molecules or anything. If I give you 1 mole of pure gold, then what will the number of atoms in it be equal to? Yes, these many atoms. And 1 mole of pure water will have these many molecules. But what is the scientific definition of a mole? Scientifically, 1 mole is defined as the amount of substance that contains the same number of atoms, molecules or particles as there are atoms in 12 grams of carbon 12. Yes, even I didn't understand it when we read it for the first time. Let me break it down for you. Let me remove this definition from the screen. What we have on the screen now is 12 grams of carbon 12. Carbon 12 is one of the isotopes of carbon. Now 12 grams of carbon 12 is what was taken as a standard. What's so special about this? Can you guess the number of atoms here? Yes, it's 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms. Now that you've understood this, let me repeat the definition for you. 1 mole is defined as the amount of substance that contains the same number of atoms, molecules or particles as there are atoms in 12 grams of carbon 12. Did you understand the definition now? It consists of 2 simple parts actually. It tells us that this part is equal to this part. The number of particles in 1 mole of a substance is equal to the number of atoms in 12 grams of carbon 12. That's it. That's all the definition tells us. Many people get confused when it comes to the concept of mole.
See, 1 mole, okay, it is the amount of substance that contains, see, I will tell you. Okay, see what is this 1 mole? Amount of substance that contains the same number of atoms or molecules as or particles as there are atoms in 12. That means what? If you take 12 grams, okay, of carbon, okay, it is going to contain 1 mole of molecules. Okay, so the amount that contains is the same number of atoms or molecules or particles as there are atoms in 12 grams. So it's going to contain how much? In, see, how much? This is 1 mole, but 1 mole is how much? 12 grams of carbon. Okay, it's atomic mass, isn't it? So this 1 mole, how many molecules it's going to contain? Yes, it's going to contain 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23.
Let's take many more examples to be absolutely sure. How about taking the same example of pure gold and pure water? When we say 1 mole of pure gold, then according to our definition, it will have the same number of atoms as the number of atoms in 12 grams of carbon-12. That means 1 mole of gold will have 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms of gold. Similarly, water will also have the same number of molecules as the number of atoms in 12 grams of carbon-12. That means it will have 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 molecules of water. Remember, the definition uses carbon-12 as a standard. It is used to compare the number of atoms or molecules or particles present in the substance. But what's the mystery behind this number? A scientist named Lorenzo Romano Amedeo Carlo Avogadro came up with this concept. I know the name is long, so we will address him as Avogadro. So the number 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 is called as the Avogadro's number. It is just a number used to represent quantities. It's similar to how we use the word pair for 2 or the word dozen to represent 12. Similarly, Avogadro's number is the term used to represent 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 number of any entity. So can we go to a shop and say, I want Avogadro's number of chocolates? Of course we can. The only problem is that the shop won't really have those many chocolates, and neither will we be able to carry them back home.
So Avogadro number of chocolates means how many? 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. Okay, so it's quite lot number of chocolates, many, and the shopkeeper will not be having so many chocolates, and even if he gives the this boy will not be able to take it home, isn't it?
So getting back to the concept, Avogadro's number is just another number used to represent quantities. But the number is so huge that using this in daily life is not practically possible and advisable. Then why does the number exist if we do not use it? Yes, the number is not commonly used in daily life by us. However, it comes to the rescue of chemists that work with atoms, molecules, electrons, and many such small entities. That is the reason why it's used to calculate 1 mole of any substance. Let's talk about one last concept. We know that 1 mole of carbon-12 is 12 grams of carbon-12. That's because 12 grams of carbon-12 has the Avogadro's number of atoms. Now let me ask you a question. If you answer this correctly, it means you've understood the concept of mole. What will be the mass of 1 mole of pure gold? Will it be 12 grams? The answer is no. It will not be 12 grams. Note that in both cases, the number of atoms is the same, but the mass of an atom of gold is different from the mass of an atom of carbon-12. Hence, the mass of 1 mole of gold will definitely be different from the mass of 1 mole of carbon-12. So 1 mole of gold weighs around 196.97 grams. That is because mass of gold atom is different from the mass of carbon-12 atoms. Similarly, 1 mole of water will have the Avogadro's number of molecules, but it will not weigh 12 grams. So if we take 1 mole of water and find its mass, we get the answer as 18.015 grams of water. And I'm sure you know why. For the sake of comparison, if we take 1 mole of gold, 1 mole of silver, and 1 mole of copper, then all of them will have the same number of atoms in them. That is 6.022 times 10 raised to 23 atoms. This number is the Avogadro's number. However, the mass of each one will be different. That's because the mass of individual atoms that make up these elements is different.
Now see, I've shown you two clips. Deliberately I've shown you these clips because you will get confused with this concept of mole or Avogadro's number, and that is why even after explaining I've shown you these two clips so you will understand it properly. Okay? Yes, so the next part we will continue in the next video.